The Loch Ness Monster, real or fake? Today we are here to discover if the Loch Ness Monster is real. We interviewed the local eyewitness Jack on the Loch Ness Monster.
I was swimming in the Loch Ness. I saw it, inches away from me. Its big body and its rough skin. I can almost touch it. All I know is that someone was there with me. I saw him. He had a harpoon ready to fire at the Loch Ness because he wanted to prove to everyone it was real.
Oh, hello. I didn't see you guys there. Welcome to our special interview with Michael Reyes, the Loch Ness Monster specialist. Michael, is there anything interesting about the Loch Ness Monster that you'd like to tell us today?
Thank you, Robbie. Well, okay, so we're dealing with a monster that's about 20, 30 feet long, or more. It's about the size of a school bus. A lot of people say, a lot of scientists say that the descriptions match of a creature that existed in the dinosaur period, which was a plesiosaur. It lived in the sea, it was a carnivore, and it had flippers, and it had the same kind of body that they're describing. Although the only different part about it is the head that looks sort of like resembles a brachiosaur. That's what gets us worried, honestly. So
That is all very interesting, Michael. Thank you for being here for me to interview you. Oh, hang on a second, I need to take this. Okay. Sorry, Mike, we need to postpone this interview. We now go live to on-scene reporter Cole for a live scene of the Loch Ness Monster.
Thank you, Robbie. Here we see the Loch Ness Monster. I'm gonna grab some protection so we can get closer to it. Here we go. Let's do this. When approaching it, we must be careful. You see how dangerous it is? We have to make sure it doesn't see us. It must be going to turn. There it is, run! No!
No, another one of those guys costs too much money. I mean, let's ignore that video. Mike, is there anything else you'd like to say?
forget about that video. First sighting took place in 565 AD. It was an Irish pastor, and he was walking around, and he saw this guy getting pulled into the water, and he said, his exact words were, "Beast, let go, you wretched beast, let go of this poor man, and be gone." And he went away. Now, the next sighting occurred about 200 years later, when similar event, someone was getting dragged under, except this, they were these people on a boat, and they were floating, and they had these spears, cause they had gotten a little warning that there was something hostile in these waters, and when they heard the guy screaming and thrashing, they tried to throw spears, but they just couldn't kill it. They couldn't even hit it. I mean, it's like the spears bounced right off its skin, like it was made of steel. And the spears were like toothpicks. I mean, it's just... It's just so cool that it comes back all that way, and people still we're still finding letters today that we found some letters at the bottom of the lake. We found warning letters that have been carried off by fishermen, and they've said help and don't swim in these waters, but they were old, they were wrapped in metal scroll cylinders, and they were wrapped all the way underwater. And we just found them a couple weeks ago. And most of them said the same warning: stay away from these waters. Now, of all the races that happened, so this really didn't nobody really paid attention. Most of the people that said this they had reputations to be madmen, so they didn't pay attention to them, and they think that's what killed them. But there could have easily been a shark in there. It could have been something else. They think. I believe that it is the Loch Ness monster. I mean, they tried to do DNA samples, and they couldn't find it. But what other monster can go down 700 feet? What other sea creature? There's no other sea creature that can go down that deep, that big. Now back to Robin for some more news.
Thank you, Mike. Well, that was all for our special interview. I hope you enjoyed this segment. We're interviewing local eyewitness Jamal on his thoughts about the Loch Ness monster.
The mystery's not over yet, guys. Don't get giddy. Don't start counting your chickens yet before they hatch. All right, because it's not over. We still need to find out what's its habitat, where it lives, where it spends most of its time, how it lives, where it goes if it gets too cold. If it gets too cold, does it travel upstream? Does it go downstream? We don't know. We're going to put cameras, probably. We need to find out if it has any parents, any relatives at all, and if they do migrate if it gets cold. We need to know if they are actually able to move out into the river.